Hello, this is Daniel Michael, and I'm here at Memorial Park in Hagerstown, Maryland, where I live in my new home in the mountains. I've been here a couple of years now and plan on staying for a while. In my last video, I talked about meditation muscle. I think a lot of 101 books on magic, Wicca, all these things, they sometimes leave out, like, think of doing a sport. They'll talk about magic and things to do, but not the preparation in the gym side of it, like you would do for a sport. And like so many things, it's not that it's that difficult, it's just a matter is I think it's not emphasized strong enough. There are so many things where the techniques aren't all that hard. It's a matter of us making them habitual. But my first one will be staring at a candle. Now, I lived in environments recently where A, I didn't get a lot of alone time, and B, was not allowed to use a candle. In the absence of a candle, you could use any other object. In the last video I mentioned, I was using a Sharpie pen for a while that was on my nightstand. But another one that I did, and there'll be a picture of it in the video, is I drew something to concentrate on. I had a piece of paper, I had a couple different colored markers, in this case blue, green, and black, and I made a triangle. Triangle is the first point of manifestation, they say. So I like the idea of just drawing a simple triangle, coloring it in blue, green, and then black. Those were the markers that were available to me at the time. And then I would stare at this object for about 10 or 15 minutes, maybe 5 at first. You'd be amazed how hard it is to just stop, quiet everything, and stare at the same thing for just 5 minutes. The famous entrepreneur, Carnegie, when they asked him how he became so successful, he said most people just can't actually concentrate on something and only that thing for 5 minutes. So I would begin by doing the Wim Hof breathing, or Tumo breathing. It's a form of pranayama, which is in and out, connective breathing, in and out for 30 times, 30 repetitions. Hold on the 30th, and then you exhale. Upon exhale, do not breathe back in for about a minute. Hold it as long as you can. 15 seconds at first, 30. I'm to the point now where I can hold it in for about 2 or 3 minutes. There are all kinds of instructional videos guiding you through this form of breathing, by the way, on YouTube. Wim Hof breathing for beginners. And they're all effective. So anyway, I would start by doing that because there's something about that type of breath work, and those other ones, that's my favorite. That type of breath work puts you into the state of mind, meaning it really helps because it's physical enough. It kind of clears out some of the stuff that's in your head just by the act of doing it. And when you hold the exhale, it actually has a pleasant buzz effect to it, or what I call the meditation hum. So anyway, I would do a round or maybe 3 rounds of that, meaning repeat what I mentioned, in and out for 30, hold for 30 on the 30th, and then exhale. Then you hold the exhale. So inhale and hold for another 15 seconds. But it's when you hold the exhale is when the magic happens in that technique. And maybe I'll even link it to the video, Wim Hof breathing for beginners. But I would do that technique and then just stare at this object that I created intently and pretty much only for the purpose of that exercise. Now I used 3 colors, and one reason I went with 3 colors was to mimic a candle flame. A candle flame oftentimes is made up of a darker center and then an orangey, reddish, and bluish within it. Of course, different flames will burn a little differently, but a lot of times they're considered to be made up of 3 basic components like that. I'll also usually accompany it, if I have it available, again, if you don't have to, with headphones, with music, whether that be nature sounds, frequency wave, theta wave music, theta wave tracks. Basically, even if you don't have access to that sort of music, even it's everywhere on YouTube. Again, you can just go pick a video and run with it. However, if you don't, sometimes I would just put the headphones on anyway, just to add to the level of isolation. So do this daily, preferably at the same time each day. Because eventually, if you start getting into wanting to do manifestations, it requires focus. So you have to build up this focus discipline, in my opinion, because what you're doing is you're intending to overcome doubts, fears, and years of negative conscious, subconscious, and spiritual programming, as well as physical programming, really. If you think of it like a holograph, taking a 2-dimensional object and making it appear to be 3-dimensional, and what does that require? It requires the focus of a laser. So it requires a laser focus. So, to end my little video here, let me explain that adding a discipline like this helps to build up your metaphysical muscles and endurance and focus. If you want to attract love, for example, some people will burn a red candle, go through whatever that tradition's routine is in their altar or in their basement or whatever it is, wherever it is, and then do nothing else and release it. There's really nothing wrong with that, or certainly nothing wrong with the activity. But in my personal take, in my personal opinion, and in my personal practice, I have a feeling that better use could have been made by lighting that candle and staring at it for an hour in an attempt to build up your power of focused intention that will affect the ether, which is what all forms of magic are attempting to do, to put something into the ether and then have it return into the physical. And this requires an entire alchemical process. And to get the first part right, which is the thoughts, the air, the focus, requires training, because let's all be honest, no matter what you believe in, we all come with a big old pile of doubts and fears and insecurities and all sorts of other things that will have us questioning, not even to mention outside disbelief from others, having us doubt what we're doing. Part of the wisdom of the witch's pyramid, to know, to dare, to will, to act, and to be silent. So to be silent is in part so other people don't affect your belief. Number 2 is a powerful, engaging, silent focus. And if nothing else, it's a great psychological practice to do, to help your mind in a distracted modern world to just focus on one simple thing. It has the psychological effect of helping you stop and pause and appreciate simple things. I tend to myself be a big picture person, and I easily get overwhelmed because I don't stop and smell the roses, as they say. So developing a discipline, even if it's not for any kind of magical purpose, but doing a daily meditation and doing this focused attention style of meditation as either part of it or just part of included as either a magical and or just psychological exercise is highly beneficial. And it also helps you to focus on your simple daily habitual goals instead of trying to do everything all at once. It helps with alignment. Even if you don't believe in anything mystical, it helps with your own quiet inner personal alignment. Thank you all. My name is Daniel Michael. Have a beautiful day.